All right. Hello, everybody. Power Search here with Douglas Blade. And today we're talking about minting NFTs on a Wax blockchain. And Wax blockchain is a different blockchain other than Ethereum. Ethereum is awesome blockchain. I'm not have no problems with that. However, recently it has been congested with very high traffic, and the gas fees went significantly up. And Wax is just an alternative. It has its own community as well, um, and technically, it's a different blockchain. It has a different engine underneath it. It's, I would say, significantly faster than Ethereum. Uh, Resource management is done differently, meaning the gas it exists, but it's in a different form other than Ethereum. In Ethereum, you have a transaction payment per transaction, but in Wax you have kind of you sharing the same kind of like a throughput for the whole blockchain, but you get a little share of it by staking EOS. Um, and Wax is a fork of EOS, and it's on blockchain with particular things that are done differently. So if you have any questions, please join the chat. I will also, once we start, share links to YouTube and Twitch. If you are registered on those platforms, please just join, ask your questions. We're here to help and walk the way through the minting process. And Douglas, what's up, man? Welcome to the
Hello.
stream and thank you for much.
Thank you for having me. It's very nice to be here. Glad to show everybody how to do this because this is something not enough people do know how to do.
Yeah, please. I'm curious myself too.
All right. So we're gonna do two basic types of minting: the standard and the drops, which is always cheaper on the individual user. So as you see right now, I'm logged into my Wax Cloud wallet, and I'm at wax.atomichub.io. And this is the main marketplace, and we see they got all their different shares and stuff on here. But at the top, NFT creator, that's where we're going to start. Um,
Hmm.
and so that's just where you're going to go to get all the stuff you're going to need to set up. Um, as we see it loaded, we're going to go in, we're going to build a collection, we're going to build a schema, and we're going to build a template. Um, and for the most part, I'm not actually going to build anything, but I'm going to take you through all the steps, and then we're going to go back and we'll show one and say, okay, so this is what will look like. And um,
Sounds good.
we were doing so fine when the phone fell.
No, we did great, man.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
we were just on this page too, and I went to the main page so people could see the difference between the two, and yeah, it's still
it's
connecting
always like
in.
that, man.
But yeah, okay. So while we're waiting for this to load, when we go build a collection, um, the reason why we do it this way, a collection, a schema, and a template, like a collection is like your storefront. When you go on OpenSea and you build like I think it's still called the same thing, a collection there or a market,
Hmm.
or if you're on Rarible and you do a collection, it's the exact same thing. It's like the easiest way for people to find your listings. And then the
Hmm.
schema is kind of like a template almost for your future assets within that schema, but it's not actually a template. So it sets what all you're going to allow to be said or done or viewed. Like if I'm going to have a name, image, back image, text, all that's decided there. And then the
Hmm.
actual
Hmm.
template is the individual NFT that you can mint
Well, Douglas, I lost you. Technical difficulties. We're alive. Okay.
Are you back?
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah.
But
So
Atomic Hub seems to be
the
still
template here is
loading.
just Analyx.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is a bit strange. We were literally just here.
Well,
it is a newer system and bugs do exist.
oh, totally. You know what's hilarious on EOS or on Wax? There are several standards of NFTs. In Ethereum, we have 721 and 1155. On Wax, there is simple assets, there's atomic assets, and there's two others. I think one is made by this Blankos game creators. So it's wild. I'm fascinated. On one side is good because you have a choice, but on the other side, it creates complexity where NFT created on one standard is just doesn't show on the marketplace that is displaying assets of some different standard. So you don't have that network effect that Ethereum has with just those two standards. On OpenSea, you can see everything.
Yeah. We've actually seen that before, where someone would, a big company would drop a Wax NFT and it's on simple asset, and everyone freaks out and they're like, how do I view it? I can't find it. And then they just, you have to tell them, well, you got to go to this other location to view it. Although in the Wax Cloud Wallet, like I was just on that, it will appear inside your Wax Cloud Wallet. It's just when you go to sell it or resell it or something like that, then you don't see it. And like where you see here, I actually have the resources set up, like brought up, where you can see there's
Yeah,
RAM,
let's
there's
talk about
network or
resources.
bandwidth. While we're waiting on that page to load. So
Great
like your
idea.
RAM is like your gas is the best way to explain that. That's what RAM is. And you can see I got a lot of RAM used. But so every time you build like a schema or a template, you're going to use a little bit of RAM. And every time you like play a game or you submit a transaction, you're going to use a little bit of RAM. And then your network or bandwidth, that doesn't really get used a whole lot. It seems like that's more for like contracts and things like that, I believe. And then like CPU, that also gets used up a little bit with like every major transaction. If someone purchases one of your NFTs or something, a little bit of CPU will be used. If you're playing a game on the blockchain, CPU will be being used. And so you can see here, I can stake to the right here. We can just say, oh, I want to choose CPU, net, or RAM. Most people will be doing it in RAM, but staking in CPU is also very common. And based on what you have staked, it will actually allow you to get staking rewards. So there's always a reason for that, different things.
Just to be clear, those sets or used up resources that get reset every 24 hours, all except RAM. RAM is more of like a storage. If you, let's say, create a contract and you want to deploy it, you need to buy RAM, and that RAM that you put in your contract into the blockchain, it just stays there until you delete it. That's another difference between Wax and Ethereum. Is in Ethereum, if the contract has been deployed, there's really no way to delete it from the blockchain. And all companies who do upgrade their contracts, and they all do it's normal for development to upgrade your contracts. The difference is that they just abandoned the old one and they switched to a new one on Ethereum. And they all just get stayed there like, zombies. On Wax or EOS, when you do deploy a contract like a collection, if you end up finished using it, you delete it and you get the RAM back. and you can also
Yeah.
update your contracts. Like, let's say I don't know, you found a bug, you go update your contract, and it's the same contract, same address. It's a little different. I mean, technically it's a little bit more advanced, but the thing is, it's a little bit more complicated too. And I feel like this is one of the reasons why it hasn't been adopted that widely as Ethereum.
Yeah, yeah. And just until like the end of 2020, you couldn't even do a drop. So if you wanted to mint, 50 NFTs on Wax, you had to mint each one individually. You had to go through and you had to, put each one on the market individually. Where like on Ethereum, we have all these different companies that allow us to do multi-mint. You can also mint and send at the same time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, I literally just switched internets to a better Wi-Fi, and Atomic Asset's still not showing up. That's lovely.
It's a
Oh, there we
curse
go.
of
I
a
got
live
video.
stream.
Yeah, yeah.
I see that a lot, man.
And can you I see on the
You're
stream
back.
the share screen disappeared. What?
Yeah, it
Oh,
has.
it flipped everything. It's popping in now. I guess when I switch internets, it dropped that off as well.
All right, your Chromebook is back. Douglas, how did you discover Wax?
I got on Wax because of Street Fighters, but I've known about it because of Kenneth Bozak. He
Mm-hmm.
promotes it quite a bit, and uh, before, I never saw a real reason on it. Then my daughter heard that I was going to try to get a hold of Street Fighter cards to play some game, and me and her play Pokemon Go and Minecraft and stuff. And so she was like, "I want to get in this. Show me how to do this." So we built her a wallet, started getting her some NFTs, showing her how it works. And like she already has in 1 week, she has a $60 Wax account already. And we didn't put no money into it. Like that's just from the community showing her some love and then playing the different
Mm-hmm.
games. And because there's a lot of games on here where you can play it and get NFTs, then you can sell them on the market and then go buy more NFTs. Um, it,
Oh, Douglas is gone. We still see his laptop. All right. Well, okay. Back.
I need to apologize. Like we just had a snowstorm and we don't get a whole lot of snow, so my internet might be having backup errors.
All right.
Um,
Well, if it really gets bad, it's cool. We can just do it some other day. I'm sure it's not critical.
okay. Um,
All right.
it's saying that I'm in the backstage. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm in the show now. So I'm just gonna click on create new collection. Um,
So this is a standard,
and
just
then
standing NFT, right? Oh, I'm sorry, contract that you
yeah,
would
well,
mint on regular NFTs.
absolutely, absolutely.
All right.
And when you go into the section, um, it will basically ask you a few questions. Like I'm not seeing it on that end, but I've already clicked it on my end. That's confusing. But I have to ask, are you seeing, what screen are you seeing? Are you seeing where it says create new collection, or are you seeing like a bunch of lines and boxes?
Seeing the screen create new collection.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing on the screen, but on my end, I'm seeing something different. That's crazy. There it goes. Yay.
Yeah.
So you see here, we have collection name, and that has to
Yeah.
be exactly 12 characters, all lowercase, and then you can add numbers 1 through 5, nothing else, which gets really confusing. So, like my main one I use is this 3D oddities 33. A lot of people tend to put numbers in randomly, and
Hmm.
that always makes a huge difference. And then like display name is what people will see. That's actually what they're going to view when they're looking at it and stuff, instead of the 12 character name collection name. So whatever your collection name is, it doesn't matter as much as like the display name. But going through the
Hmm.
marketplace, they'll use that collection name to find you even easier, and then you put like your website URL, a description for the collection, and then there's also the market fee, which is like the reselling fee. So if you want that to be higher or lower, um, I don't know if they have a max cap, but they recommend nothing higher than 15%, which is
Hmm.
kind of nice. So that way resellers can always get some resells. And then advanced options allows you to have like, if someone wants someone, like I get sometimes people ask me to make them their NFTs. So they'll mail the collection and they'll come into here, bring in a little extra plus, and they'll put in my Wax wallet address in there. And that will
Hmm.
allow me to be able to mint on their behalf.
Hmm.
And so, like in here, I always put in Atomic Drops X, um, and that's what we use for the drops. So that always needs to be in there as an authorized user for that collection in order to for that drop to be able to drop your NFTs. And so that's important to know right now, but we'll hear about that a little bit later. Now they don't have access to your account or anything, just being able to mint or push NFTs to users, things like that. So we don't have to worry about them stealing funds or anything like that. Like if when people have me as an authorized user on their collection, I don't have access to their money or anything like that. And
I see.
on your screen in here in a minute, you're going to see it switch over to my actual collections. I'm going to go into one instead of just building a new one, so don't waste the RAM, because
Hmm.
you can't delete them. Once you have it minted, you can't delete that. So even if you messed it up, it's still there forever.
Hmm.
Um,
I see.
and as you can see, I have multiple schemas. These are what we use to get a lot of the major information into our NFTs. And then on your screen, it's about to change. Now we have here another 12 character limit on your schema name, but it doesn't have to be 12 characters. It can be less than, but it's still, lowercase only A through Z and then 1 through 5. No, nothing extra. And then we can build
Just to
new
make sure,
attributaries.
mhm, that this schema name and the collection name is it's it it's the same in Ethereum as just your address. Like that is this long ass gibberish name. Just in Wax, they instead of the address that long, you have a choice of composing, some name that is made out of letters and numbers. Sorry, go ahead.
It's all good. That's actually a really good way to say it. Um, and then when we go into like build new attributary, based on what we want to do, we can, change the options. So basically the left hand column is the name of that, and the right hand column is what you're going to be inserting, rather it's a number, a text, or an image, or an even IPFS hash, which most people that mint on Wax, they use IPFS. Just like if you mint on Rarible, Rarible uses IPFS for your storage.
Hmm.
So I always recommend to people Pinata Cloud. Pinata.cloud is a
Hmm.
really simple, easy way to do. And they came around because of Ethereum. They started their service because of Ethereum, and you can mint directly to Ethereum through them. So here I clicked on IPF hash. I'm going to say video. So anything on the left-hand side, you want no capitalization. Um, it just messes with the system. And anytime you want an image, you're going to have either a straight name like page one, or you're going to have the word actually like like if you want a back image to your NFT, it's back IMG. So IMG instead of image, but each one has to be uniquely different. They can't all just say IMG, IMG, IMG. And so I'm going to go back and then to one I've already made so we can get a better perspective of what that really looks like. I'm going to click on my music one. So you can see here, this is one I use to produce my music albums and my music songs, singles. I mint them on here just like I mint them on Ethereum. And so I have the different options here. I got regular image, back image, a video, regular text, and then if I hide data inside of it and unlock like an unlockable, like we see with Rarible, I have that in here as well. And then as we go down, we can see we do have some assets minted because it is a drop and people have purchased it, which causes the mint. If you don't have any of a drops or anything like that, there'd be nothing right there. So normally, if you're going to do a 1-to-1, you would click create new, mint new, and then here we can name that asset just like you would on anything else like Ethereum and stuff, how many copies you want. So you have to have an actual number. You can't do unlimited copies yet on this type of system. And then if you have a template, you can actually bring in your template and allows you to basically plugs everything in for you, like you just saw everything popped in. So that shows a template, so it makes it 10 times easier to do those individual mints, but you still have to do each one individually, costing you a little bit of RAM, which is why we have the drops. And so I'm going to go do the templates because you have to have a template to do a drop. And if you want to collect data on your NFT, you want to know how many users have your NFT and which, you can always find out which user, but you want the blockchain to be able to collect that data really easy for you. You have to have a template. And so when you go into create new template, it's going to look basically the same as the schema, but it's going to have all the schema data in here. So as we scroll down, you can see there's all the information for that I had set up. Okay, I need to put in my text, I need to put in my images. And if you're going to do an image directly through like Atomic, it's a 2 megabyte limit. But if you use IPFS, there is no limit. So,
So you mean Atomic,
high quality image.
You mean Atomic will be actually stored on the chain in RAM?
Yeah, if you use Atomic, they store it themselves for you. And then if you use IPFS, you're kind of having IPFS stored for you. And Atomic uses IPFS as well. They just have a really low limit. So if you want to do something high quality, you need to use like Pinata Cloud or IPFS Lite or anything like that.
Gotcha.
And then you'll place the hash right up in here
May I
instead
ask what
of like a link.
what is the back image?
Back image is, in this case, the main image you see, are like we would say in NFT, Ethereum, the cover. The back image is just a secondary image that, if you go to some other websites where you can like input your NFTs and view them, there are sometimes you can do it where you can have it flip. So like if you was to go to William Shatner's page and his store, he actually has this flipping. And so there's a way to code into your website how to make that happen if you have a back image.
I see.
And then we'll look at one that's been minted already, because like I have bought one of mine just to test and make sure it worked. So we'll look at one and we'll show you the difference between the front image, the back image, and all that. But basically, everything you do with Wax, you're going to be using hashes. So I want to go over to my Pinata Cloud just to kind of show representation of what we mean. Like when Pinata Cloud, you upload, it's real easy, and then you go to your Pin Explorer. And for example, I'm just going to grab this top one and we're going to copy the hash. And then I'm going to go back to Atomic and I'm going to insert.
So this is the image that you uploaded previously into Pinata Cloud. It generated a URL and a hash, and you grabbing the hash. Is that right?
Yeah, because with IPFS, you can use any gateway URL, but the hash is always the same. And so I put in the hash, and as I scroll back up, you're going to see the actual image show up in the image location.
It verifies it right away. Okay, awesome.
Absolutely. And right here, we can actually determine if we want to have an infinite supply or a limited supply. So we can also change, can you transfer?
Oh, we're lost. Okay. Okay, Douglas back. All right.
So sorry.
Douglas, you're back.
So sorry.
No problem.
But yeah, like you can determine if you want anyone to be able to transfer or burn it. Actually, so far I don't have any assets that can be burned, but I have a lot of lower mint assets. So if you plan on having, anywhere over about 5,000 assets or 1,200 assets, you probably want people to be able to burn it to be able to add in scarcity. But there are some
Mm-hmm.
people that have done stuff like they removed all ability to move it, and then when they give it to say someone buys one of their NFTs, they'll push one of these non-transferable, non-burnable NFTs to that wallet to basically say, hey, thank you for making that purchase and things like that. So you have a little bit of
Oh,
unusual tactics.
I see.
So
Huh.
I'm gonna go back and I'm actually gonna click on one of my templates just to show you what a finished template looks like. And this is kind of what it looks like.
Yeah,
We can
please.
see already data showing up. It shows you how many mint, how many are burnt, the ID number, and then all the internal data. And you'll be seeing that on your end in a second. Then as we keep going down, we can see how many templates there are in this entire schema, how many people are holding these templates, and log data at the very, very bottom. And it should pop up on your end here in a minute, and then it will just scroll down when it does. Um, but yeah, that's the the beauty behind all of that is it lets you see the hidden data that would normally be completely on the blockchain. Unlike Ethereum, you've got to have a node, you got to have OpenSea, some kind of service. This one's all built
Mm-hmm.
in for you, which is a bit nice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Definitely a lot more control. However, it comes a little bit with complexity for newcomers to start. I would not call it user friendly. Anytime you need to enter like some hashes or texts, it's more of a developer, you know, kind of attitude that you as an artist you actually need to have, and confidence as well. Um, so it's so tough, but if you can get a hang of it, I guess it's a lot more control. You have those precision details.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you're right, it's not as user friendly as it could be. And like there are people working every day to try to bring in uh, new platforms or new systems to try to make that more user friendly. Um, but yeah, it is more. Um, you got to be a little bit more techie, a little bit more knowledgeable. And what a lot of people say is you do this one time and then you pretty much got it down. I
Mm-hmm,
see that
mm-hmm.
it's not updating on your end still. So I'm just gonna jump over to Wax Blocks and let's see if that will switch over. Yeah, I'm still in your stream there.
And
I
Wax
had to check my
Blocks,
internet.
yeah, Wax Blocks is a block explorer, just as Etherscan for Ethereum, and they have several different ones. And Blocks.io is just one of them that allows you to see um, blockchain data.
Yeah.
And once we are kind of getting closer to the end, Doug, I wanted to ask you what is the simplest way to just mint, I don't know, the non like non-complicated one, the fastest way to mint a single NFT. You probably need to create a collection, is that right? And then just add an NFT to it. Could you like at least guide us a little bit? What would be the simplest way? I understand the drops. There's a lot more control to that, but and creating of a collection, I think it's quite complex because once you created it, right, you just kind of solidified the settings of it, how it's going to behave. Um, and if you would get the verified collection, like by Atomic Hub, you kind of, I guess, stuck in with the settings that you created for that specific collection. But if we were to create the simplest collection, it would just have like image, description, you know,
That's it. Like the simplest, that's all they normally have is an image and a collection or text, so you can have a title. But
mhm.
the fastest way to do it is kind of what you just saw, where you create a collection, create a schema, and then you create a mint. You mint an asset. That's the
I
simplest.
see.
Um,
What is the good way to get, I guess, technical support? If I would expect, I think people wanted to have it if they were doing it first time. What do you think? What resources would you recommend?
Now the great thing is Atomic Hub and Wax.io have a really good Discord and Telegram channel. And then
Hmm.
Kenneth Bozak, he has a Ken Bozak Telegram channel with, um, it's got like over 700 people in there, and most of the people in there are either collectors or mentors. So it's tons of people with the resources and the knowledge to really help
Hmm.
individual people. Because Kenneth Bozak, he's been building this NFT community for like 4 years now, and so he has some of the best in his community. Like some of the bigger name brand people are in there for both Ethereum, Wax, and Fantasium. So multiple chains. So there's lots of knowledge to be done in that Telegram. Um, um,
Awesome.
yeah. But as you
Uh,
see here, I'm on this Wax blocks. I'm in
mhm.
Atomic Drops. I just searched Atomic Drops and it pops up. This Atomic Drops X, and then I clicked Create Drop. Um, from here, it's not that hard. Once you see it, it's pretty simple after that. And you see this page is responding much faster than the other one. Atomic Hub is having a little bit of error. So like,
Atomic Drops is the, just to make sure that this is the name of the contract. Is that right? From
mm-hmm, yeah,
for for the Atomic Assets Hub that we're
yeah,
going to be exploring. So this is deployed contract. We can see um, actions on this contract, which is a part of this contract, and we just looking up the specific account that we deployed. Is that right?
well, yeah. As you see on this, it says Atomic Drops, and then right below it, it says Atomic. So this is
Mm-hmm.
actually made by the people who made Atomic Hub.
Yep.
Simple assets you can also find here too. Just
Mm-hmm.
search simple assets. But this is like everything you can do there, you can do here, except for building the collection and the schema and the template. So, but you do have way more options you can hear. Like there's all sorts of things in here you can do. Like you can set a time for your drop. You can add money behind your NFTs. Like you can back it with Wax and different things like
Mm-hmm.
that. And a drop just makes it to where people can basically see the template and then purchase it directly off the template. So there's nothing minted until they make a purchase. And that saves everybody in RAM, makes it a little bit better resource control. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like how, I guess a good way to say it is like on OpenSea, you can mint some assets on OpenSea without paying a gas fee. And then
Yep.
when people purchase it, they pay the gas fee. Very
Mm-hmm.
similar. Except we're going to stake the RAM ahead of time. And that's just a transaction. I'll show you that in a minute. But like the name on here, this page name, that's your wallet address that your collection is in.
Mm-hmm.
And then the collection name is the actual collection name. Nothing complicated about that. Asset to mint is when there's some kind of confusion. Like I'm going to pop in this little bit right here. And it's
It's intense.
it's like a little bit confusing, I guess, but uh, just when you go in here, there's also an ABI that has this in there as well. Like if I scroll back up, you can see it says
Yes. Yeah.
ABI
Yeah.
right next to it. And that's where
Yeah.
we pulled this data from. And so it's just a bracket, curly bracket, and then template ID in quotes, then your actual template ID. Like I'm going to put one of mine in because I have one I know by heart just because I've used it for tons of examples when I show people. And then tokens to back, we don't normally use. There's another way to do it in a different spot in here, but it has to be put in here with the open, close, square bracket, then curly bracket close, and then square bracket close. And if you look right next to it, it says asset to mint and has that open, close, weird bracket thing. That's what the contract uses to insert extra data without having to change anything you input. So it's like an updatable section of the contract. And then listing price, it's like if I want to list it for 50 wax, I'll put in 50 and then 8 zeros because there's 8 zeros in wax, just like with Bitcoin. And then capitalize the value of the currency because there are other currencies on wax. There's Dust, TLM. So theoretically, any of those could be used here, although I think wax and Dust are the only two really accepted right now. And then below that it says settlement symbol. Well, they want to know how many zeros are there. There's 8, comma, and then what currency? Wax. And then the price recipient. This is like if I'm minting on behalf of somebody else, I will put their wallet address in here. And for example, I just put in 3D Ninja. That's actually my HODL wallet. So I can mint an asset and then my HODL wallet can get the funds. So I don't have to worry about, am I spending the funds that I'm trying to HODL? It will just, there's all sorts of fun things you can do here. And then max claimable, if you want an infinite supply, you hit 0. Now, if your template has a limitation, that will actually override this point. And so if you don't know what your template max is, you can still put in 0 and it will not allow more than that template anyways. And then account limit. So, on Ethereum, like one wallet can buy all of your, if you mint 50 or something, one account can purchase all 50. Well, here we can say, no. One account can buy 1 or one account can buy 3. So you can actually limit how much each wallet can buy. And then a cooldown is in seconds. So like if I say you buy one right now, but I don't want you to be able to buy another one for a minute, I can put in 60 and it will make you wait 60 seconds before you can purchase again. So we can control how fast things can be sold out to. Because, you can kind of allow a little bit more market, more people can get into it. If you're one of the people that it sells out real fast, you can limit bot activity and things this way. And then start time is an epoch time, which is just milliseconds since 1970. And there's epoch, there's epoch converters all over the internet, epochconverter.com. And then you put in what time you want it to drop. If you don't want any of that, you just put in a 0. But you can also end time. So say you only want it available for 24 hours. You could put in your epoch time and then set the 24-hour also epoch time and put it in. And it will automatically open and close that cell. And at any time, you can also come back in here and you can say, I'm done with that drops, because you see here we have infinite supply, infinite, it's instantly going to be ready. So I could later on come in and say, I'm done with that drop, delete that drop. So there's always a way to remove drops if you have everything set to infinite. And then display data appears when some wallets make a purchase. So I always say like, thank you for purchasing and stuff like that. But most people who are using Wax Cloud Wallet, they won't see that. And then you just submit the transaction. And if there's anything actually wrong, it will tell you that there's something wrong. And then you can get a screenshot and you can say, hey, go to one of the Discord, or you can go to the Telegrams and say, hey, I got this error, but I don't know what it means. And there's going to be someone there that knows what it means. Like, I'm going to click this button. Oh, it logged me on my wallet. See if I can get it in.
So you created a collection on Atomic Hub website, but here you're doing the minting?
Well, this would be setting the drop, and that will be mint on demand,
Okay.
So it helps. Now, it's not going to pop up for me because, like I said, we just had a snowstorm, so we are having a little bit of internet difficulties while I wasn't having the same issue yesterday. But but it would normally pop up an error if you have anything wrong. Most of the time, the most common error people get is it says something like the open bracket or closed bracket, we expected data to be there. It says expected data and it'll have the bracket. And that's the
Mm-hmm,
most common error. And all that is this little spot up here where it says assets to mint.
mm-hmm.
Normally you're missing a space behind a colon, or you're missing a quotation mark, or you don't have
Wow.
the right asset number. That's normally what it is. Once you create a drop, it's super easy to go to drops. It's wax.atomichub.io/drops and then the number. So you see on my screen, like you'll probably seen, oh no, I guess you're not. It had popped up like previous drops. I just clicked it. I think it's mine. And then we'll see what it actually looks like for people when they're trying to make a purchase. You see, yeah, it is mine. So we see here, this is what it looks like for them. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're not able to buy right now, it will have a time of when it will be available. As you can see here, the cooldown shows me the cooldown, shows me how many purchases been made, how many more I can purchase. And then also we can go to the side, and if we're allowed to buy more than one at a time, it will let us do that here as well. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's really what they look like there. Now let's see if we can go to my inventory to show you what one just generally looks like. Um,
Nice collection, man.
Thank you. uh, just trying to find my collection just so you can get the same example from the same template. You can see all these collection names right here, kind of is what we mean by the collection name can be searchable too, because it pops in that little pop up. Okay, so here's one right here. So we can see the front image. It's not popping up at the
Mm-hmm.
moment, but the back image is right next to it. In this
Mm-hmm.
case, it's a downloadable QR for the album.
Mm-hmm.
And then in this case, I also have a music video. I have one of the longest music videos. From my understanding, across all blockchains, it's an 8-minute music video. Um, but this allows you to see all your data. And then as you scroll down, you can see all the data we had put into the blockchain. This is unchangeable data. And if there is changeable data, it pops up on the other side, the right side. So like theoretically, I could make an asset with immutable data. And like, for example, like there is a download QR here. That download QR actually has a password protection on the link. So you have to know something up. So you have to have a copy of this in order to know that information. But
Mm-hmm.
theoretically, I could have given you that information through the mutable data. And then if I ever changed that password, I could update it, and everybody who owns that asset would get an update of the mutable data. Or I could even later delete that data, and then eventually then it would just disappear off everybody's. So you can even do like, theoretically, you could do like an ad. Say you could have a drop coming soon. You could actually send out an ad to all your assets and say, look, drop coming soon. And when people view it, they could see it. And then after it's dropped or whatnot, you could delete it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of cool. And you can see I don't have any histories because I haven't sold or anything with this NFT. Um, but as if I was to go to a different one, we'll just go click on a absolutely random one that will probably have more data. So we can show that too, because I think that makes a huge difference. I'm going to go to one at Ken Bozak's. He had, oh, wait, here's Twerky Pepe. That
You have
might
a
help.
Twerky Pepe. Nice.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Love Twerky. I couldn't get Twerky on Ethereum, so I had to get Twerky here. As we scroll down, you can
Yeah.
see price. So it helps you decide
Mm-hmm.
what should you price it for if you want to
Mm-hmm.
resell. What is it going for right now? And it gives you market data based off the template. So if you didn't have that template, this would not pop in. And as you can see here, I'm the original owner. There's been no other sales or transfers of this one NFT.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the neat thing about the templates, is we can get that extra little bit of data to help resell and things like that. Now
Gotcha.
the only other thing that one person needs to know is sending a transaction to get resources or ROM on your drops. And 5 wax, which is right now 42 cents, is the common cent price. That's what most people send. And if it ever gets to a point where your RAM is completely used up, people who try to purchase your drop, it will say RAM error. And so I'm going to send 5 wax to Atomic Drops X, all lowercase. And in the memo, I'm going to say deposit underscore collection underscore RAM. And then I'm going to put in my collection I want to add it to, just like that. And then I would hit next and keep going. At the moment, we're looking at this isn't a live page actually, because my internet already went back down, but I had got it screenshotted. I got it captured quick enough to be able to do this bit. So as we see here, if I click next, it's going to give me a pop-up and say error. But normally you'd click send and it would send. And then we could also go back to wax.blocks.io and we could go back to that Atomic Drops. And you can actually see when you deposit RAM, you can go into their system and you can click the little button that says RAM, and you can go find your collection name, and it will tell you how much RAM you have. So if you're not sure if you have RAM or not, you can always go check. And that's the nice thing.
So who's paying for RAM?
The
When
minter. Like I would pay for my own RAM, but really, if say I didn't have any wax and I needed RAM, I could ask anybody, send RAM to this place, send wax to this location, Atomic Drops X, use this as the memo, and they can pay RAM on my behalf. So it's truly more decentralized in that fact that anyone can pay for my RAM, just like on Uniswap, anyone can pay to have your swap finalized. Like I can go on Uniswap and search, just type in wallet addresses until I find a wallet address that has any amount of money that could be removed, and then I could pay their gas fee. So it's similar to that.
Yeah, I understand. It's taken for someone else, I guess. Okay. All right, Douglas, man, thank you so much. I think we would wrap it up. We were like here for almost an hour. It was a great introduction for minting NFTs on Wax platform. Using website, we went through creating collection, almost minting a piece. Went through resources model of Wax, whole bunch of other stuff, and man, thank you so much again. I got a lot of information.
You're welcome. I hope it helps other people, because the more people that are minting on Wax, the better the ecosystem can really grow.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining, and yeah, peace.